But first, what is market? Market is a place where two parties can gather to facilitate the exchange of goods and services. The parties involved are usually buyers and sellers. The market may be physical, where people meet face to face, or virtual, where there is no direct physical contact between the buyers and sellers. There are normally more than 8 types, but for today we're going to discuss primary market, secondary market, s- bond market, stock market, auction market, negotiation market, spot market, and futures market. First, primary market. It is also known as the new issue market, as it is where new securities, which are derivatives, equity, and debts, are issued and become available for trading by individuals and institutions. So basically, the mode of exchange in this market, as you can see in the illustration, where the buyer buys from the issuing company in return of its shares. Second, secondary market. Unlike in primary market, it is a marketplace where already issued securities can be bought and sold by the investors. So it is a marketplace where investors buy securities from other investors and not from the issuing companies. Third, bond market. Bond market is a marketplace for purchasing and selling of debt securities like bonds, which is an instrument used by the government and companies to raise money by borrowing from investors, takes place. So you can say that it is one of the major sources of finance for both the government and corporates, as these bonds carry fixed interest and also have a fixed maturity date. In short, the investors purchase debt securities from companies, central government, or municipalities in return of the fixed interest incomes and fixed maturity date. Fourth, stock market. First of all, we have to know that a stock or a share of stock is a tiny ownership in a public corporation. So we can say that this is not just a single market, but rather a number of stock exchanges that are scattered around the world, where traders and investors buy and sell shares of publicly traded companies that change in price constantly in response to the law of supply and demand. Fifth, auction market. It is a marketplace where buyers indicate the highest price they are willing to pay and sellers indicate the lowest price they are willing to accept. A trade occurs when the buyer and seller agree on a price. Therefore, the market connects the buyer and seller in the most efficient manner possible, as they simplify the buyer and seller process, as auction markets do not involve any direct negotiations between the individual buyer and sellers. Sixth, negotiation market. In this market, there are no market makers or order matching like in the auction market, but instead the buyers and sellers actively negotiate on a price at which a transaction is finalized either directly or through the use of brokers. But the unfortunate downside of this market is that this market is considered as very inefficient time time, effort, and lack of transparency in pricing are large issues that can be resolved for this type of trading. 7. Spot market. It is also known as the cash or physical market, as this is where financial instruments such as commodities, currencies, and securities are traded for immediate delivery. In short, the trades are swapped and delivered effectively and immediately. Eighth, futures market. Unlike in spot market where the exchange is immediate, the futures market, in which participants buy and sell commodity and futures contract for delivery, are on a specified dates. So in this market, the buyer and seller will agree on a contract that the commodity, for example, corn, will be delivered with a specific quantity and date. Thank Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something today, and if you like it, please don't forget to like and subscribe.